So welcome back, everyone. I'm excited about bringing on my next guest. He's been on with me for well over 4 years. I have with me Howard Farkash, and he is a financial services insurance professional. You've been doing this forever. 1998, I think he first started. I want you to tell us a little bit about your agency first and what makes you different.
Well, sure. I'll tell you a little bit about our agency. What we do here basically is all of the so-called life products, which include life insurance, health insurance, including Medicare, long-term care, and disability income. That's the suite of products which make up our work, basically. I've been at this now ever since 1998, so it's been a long stretch. Learned a lot along the way, got into the business because in my former life, I owned a small business, and I had oversight of the benefits program. I came out here to assist my parents with their retirement, and found out that I couldn't get a job as a hotshot sales guy, but I had to use my experience as a business owner and overseeing insurance programs, and that's how I got into the insurance industry. So I've been around insurance for a long, long time.
A long time.
But today I think we're going to do something a little bit different. I think we're going to bounce around off of over all those types of products. And I think we're going to just float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. My tribute to Muhammad Ali.
Can I first say something about you?
If you want to.
I'd like to. So what I love about Howard, first of all, your clients mean everything to you, okay? You're all about service. You're also all about detail. Detail is very important to you. And when it comes to your clients and how the information that you share with them.
Sure, that is certainly for sure. One of the things that's very important in our business, whether we're looking at the Medicare side of things, or we're looking at the disability income, long-term care, or the life side of things, is to really get to know your client so that you can make sure that he or she is getting the very best products they possibly could to meet their objectives. Not my objectives, but their objectives. So it's very important. I thought we'd start off by talking about Medicare because it is the tail end of the Medicare season. All of us who are in the business have been putting insane number of hours to try to help people get the best or the lowest cost prescription drug plans and the best Medicare Advantage plans they possibly can. Now, over the last several weeks, I've run well over 100 different studies for people, drug studies predominantly, and what we're finding out is about a third of the people can simply roll over their plan. The plan they were on last year is still going to be the lowest cost plan moving forward. And when I say cost, I mean the total of all the premiums you pay during a year and all the co-pays you have down at the drugstore. So that's staying stable about 1/3. About 55% of the people, they can make a change and they'll save quite a bit of money. The average person is saving somewhere between $400 and $600, those who are changing. And there's also a core, a small cadre of people who must change their plan because their plan is exiting the marketplace. And they have to, otherwise they'll have no drug coverage in the following year. So that's the excitement, as it were, and we're trying to finish up strong with helping enough people so that they won't be calling their congressmen and their senators saying what kind of plans are out there and we didn't get good plans.
Well, just call Howard.
Absolutely.
That's the best thing to do. His phone number is 602-909-8433. This is a free service to you folks. And any of you that have just put it off because a lot of people do, if you're straggling, give him a call and you will know exactly what to do.
And by the way, if you can't find the person who put you on your present plan, feel free to give us a call. That number is
602-909-8433.
Right. So, while this is an intense time of year for us, we call it the Medicare season. It's the most wonderful. You're right. It's the most wonderful time of the year, but it does certainly keep us busy. The rest of the year we have a much more level-headed and sane existence, basically. And one of the things that I do with my clients is I try to work with my program, which we call Care Beyond Medicare. And because Medicare doesn't cover everything.
I love this that you do that.
Yeah.
Listen up, everyone.
Medicare doesn't cover anything, whether you have a Medicare supplement plan or a Medicare Advantage plan. It doesn't cover everything, and sometimes we just need long-term care, which is basically custodial care, which is brought on by some form of medical event. It's not a medical event in and of itself, but you're weakened to the point where you can't do two activities in daily life, or you're a risk to yourself psychologically, a risk to others just as well. And so given that, we tend to try to find plans for people. Sometimes it's a very traditional long-term care plan. Then other times it is a hybrid plan, sometimes referred to as asset-based or annuity-based product, basically, where just by moving money that you have saved, moving it around, you can get additional leverage off of that product. So if you've got $100,000, gosh, don't we all wish we had just $100,000 sitting around? Well, believe it or not, a lot of people do.
They do.
And they've set that aside, and that is their legacy product, or it's the product that they're going to use for their long-term care if they need it. If they don't need it, it'll go to the family or a church. And if they do need it, they'll get whatever utility they can out of that. But if they move it from the left pocket to the right pocket, they may be able to double or triple the value of it when it's used for long-term care. So that's an important thing that people are now starting to come to realize is available. It wasn't available historically. It's just come on the market over the last, say, 8 to 10 years.
Well, what I think about insurance in general is the tools. There are tools now to help you utilize them for not only just for peace of mind, but also to help you money-wise.
Well, they are financial tools.
That's it.
You probably remember that from our previous conversations on earlier shows, that's exactly what it is. It's a tool, and it's an asset. Sometimes, speaking of assets, sometimes a life insurance policy can actually be sold. If you bought life insurance when you were young, and it's still around, but your need for that life insurance has gone away, you just might be able to offload that life insurance policy, sell it actually, to people who buy and resell, quote unquote, used life insurance. Now that's my own phrase. Don't go down the street talking that way, okay? That's just Howard language.
I like that Howard language. Now, the thing is about all of this, I will want to say this to you. I know there's a lot of commercials on television, even about that. Why use somebody local here, even for those things?
Well, sure, I'm glad you asked that question. There are lots of places you can just call an 800 number and do some business, okay? But probably you don't know what you don't know when you entered that conversation, and you start finding out more things about your product, and you want clarification, but to be very difficult in getting to the person who sold you that product. And you're talking to somebody who doesn't know why that was sold. It becomes a mystery, basically. We sometimes at our dining hall, if we have a meal, we call it mystery meat. We don't know what it is.
Mystery meat.
And sometimes there are mystery financial products. Why did you buy that? How did you come to have that?
Wow.
I deal with people all the time, and quite often they say they really don't know. Or it was sold by my brother-in-law or a friend down the street or something like that. So when I work with people, I try to explain to them why they are buying what they are buying. I like my people to, getting back to Medicare for just a moment, Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement, what should I buy? Well, I try to make my clients understand why they made the decision they made, because they're going to run into somebody later on who's going to say, you bought the wrong thing. You should have bought what I bought. It's much better. Well, maybe it's better for that guy, but it may not be better for you. So I want you to understand why you bought it, so you don't have to be embarrassed or made to feel you did make a mistake when you did make that mistake.
But one thing about Howard is you are so detailed in the way that you explain things. It's amazing. And you will understand why, and you'll be able to tell that other person why you purchased what you did.
And then you can use Howard language.
That will be Howard's
Right.
language. Now, the phone number to call him direct is 602-909-8433. It's a free service to you. It just makes sense. Give him a call. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk further about some of the different things. I love the fact that you are very open about the way that that Medicare does not pay for everything. So listen up, folks. This is a free service to you. Let Howard help you navigate you through whether it's Medicare or anything like this. Again, his phone number is 602-909-8433.
Just call Howard.
We're going to keep on going here. We're live in the room. Okay.
Are we having fun?
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I do okay?
What do you think?
You guys did wonderful.
Well, we know each other for a little bit.
Right.
Just
So
a
what do you
little
think
bit.
if you're driving around in your car? What do you think of these people? Okay?
God.
Well, a lot of people, I think, and I got people that, like this one guy keeps on calling me, and he's a listener. He's calling me over the holiday, and he goes, I just wish you were on more than 1 hour a day.
Well, a lot of knowledge does pass over
Well, that's
the
what it is.
microphone.
It's the fear.
Absolutely.
That's how it
Yes,
is. It's
absolutely.
information.
Surely.
Exactly.
Well,
So what are we going to do? We're going to continue with...
I'm lost. I don't know where I'm going. I told you I'm just going to float like a
How about
butterfly and
this?
sting like a bee.
How about talking about life insurance and living benefits?
Oh, that's why not? You know about that.
I like that.
Sure.
Okay.
Surely.
Annuities, you talked about that for a second.
Just touched on it.
Touched
right?
on it.
Just touched on it. But that's okay. We'll get through it. We'll bounce around, have fun. Disability income is very important too.
Disability?
Disability income for the younger people especially. What's the most important asset you have? It's your ability to get there to go to work.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yes.
Disability insurance for young people.
Well, it's mostly for younger people, right? For people who are earning a living. Yeah, people who are
Okay.
earning a living. So, do you want me to ask you, Carol, what's your most important asset?
Yeah,
You either say
me.
your home or your car or your...
You do it.
I'm gonna ask you.
Oh, you want me to do that?
I'm gonna ask you.
Okay,
yes.
you're going to ask, and then I'm going to say me, right?
Yeah, well, they say you're absolutely right, and probably even more important than that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Having fun yet?
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
We're learning.
So you see the difference though?
Yes, I do.
Because we've been, we're chit-chatting, right?
Yeah.
We're educating, but it's not trying to all get it all in one time. It's just a smoother ride. It's a smoother ride. Of course, we know each other for a long time,
100
so.
years, 100 years.
A long time. Okay, you ready? I sound nasally. Can't do it. So welcome back, everyone. We are live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We'll share the show later on. Howard, we've been talking a little bit during the break to Facebook land about certain things, and I know you were going to ask me a question. What did you want to ask me?
I was going to ask you, what is your most important asset?
Me.
Valuable asset. Well, of course, that's for sure.
Me.
But how about,
Me.
a lot of people tell me they're the most important asset or most valuable asset is their
Children.
well, it's actually their family, or they'll tell
Which,
me,
by the way, girls,
they'll-
you are.
They'll
Go
tell
ahead.
me it's their home, or they'll tell me it's their car, or something. They'll say it's my 401k plan, whatever they say. They're thinking financially, of course, but even more importantly, what it really is their job, their ability to get up every single morning and go to work.
Very true.
But sometimes we don't have that. We don't have that ability. Something happens, an accident happens, an illness happens, and we can't go to work, okay? And actually, when I first got into this business a long time ago, it was explained to me disability is like a living death. Because if you die, you're gone, and you don't know what happened
That's very
afterwards,
true.
okay? But if you're disabled, you're there to see all the consequences of your not having planned for that particular event. Now, at our agency, we like to think of always being prepared. Our favorite song is Anticipation, okay? Not procrastination. I believe if you look it up in the dictionary, you might find that anticipation is the opposite of procrastination, okay? So you must anticipate that things might go wrong, and you must plan for them so that you don't have to have this living death. You don't have to see your family having to move away from a very nice home into a new neighborhood, the well spouse having to go to work, not supervise the children any longer, things of that nature. The education that's not going to be funded, whether it's a technical education or a college education, it's not going to be funded. And you're going to be able to live and see that, which is probably worse than dying, realistically.
I mean, life goes on no matter
Right.
what.
So
That's
disability
the deal.
income is very important, okay? To make sure that your family stays afloat when you're having a bad time of it and can't go out to work. So that's very important. People should consider that. And that's not old people. We're talking about people who are younger and earning a living.
Right.
And of course, the most common cases that they always cite is the the surgeon who develops the shakes, or the dentist who develops the case of the shakes, and he's disabled. He can't earn a living. What does he do? Things
I've seen it
change.
happen. I have
Right.
seen that exact thing happen. What do? Just call Howard.
Absolutely. And just so you know, really disability income runs about 3% of your income. It's a rough thumbnail way of figuring it out. So would you give up 3% of your income in order to protect it going out into the future because of an unforeseen event? I think many people are. They just are procrastination minded instead of anticipation minded.
His phone number to call is 602-909-8433. His services are free to you to sit and talk and have that consultation. And the questions that you ask to get to know that person, and they do. You become friends with everyone that you work with.
Mostly.
You do. If you could with Kenny,
Okay.
then, sorry, Kenny, go ahead.
Okay, that's fine. Another important part of our business is life insurance, just life insurance to protect the family in case you do have a premature, no such thing as I'm concerned, but a premature death and unexpected sudden death and things of that nature. And it becomes very important. But people say, well, gee, I also have all these other financial needs. You just got done telling me if I get sick, I'm going to need money. So is there some way to combine these products? And now, in the quote-unquote modern age, we're finding out that the stodgy old insurance companies are changing their offerings and bringing out hybrid products, one of which is living benefits incorporated into life insurance policies. So that's a benefit you get to use without having to die. And if you become ill, a certain portion of that death benefit can be converted into cash while you're recovering or while you're paying medical bills. So that's a very important aspect of things. And of course, just life insurance in and of itself is a cash payment at death. You've probably been to a funeral or two, and after the funeral you go to somebody's house and everybody brings a casserole. I don't bring a casserole when I go to a funeral, okay? I bring a check.
So, yeah, I love
somehow,
that about you
and
guys.
somehow I'm well received.
I'm sure. You know what? I wonder why, right?
Right.
And people don't realize that there are so many options out there that they don't know about. They don't. And we talked about this earlier about people not knowing what they don't know, right?
And there's more and more coming on the market all the time. That's why you've got to stay current, no matter what field you're in. And let's face it, no matter what your job is, what kind of work you have, what you do for a living, underneath it all, you're economic men and women, okay? And you've got to understand the financial world in order to be successful in the financial world. So you don't know what you don't know is very apropos.
And also speaking to somebody who, number one, he's been doing this since 1998. So you are a senior, you have all these products.
That's a long time.
It's a long time. But it's wonderful because you walk the talk.
Well, more than that, you see, you can study this in school, but that school doesn't give you the real life experiences, the hands-on experiences, the working with the people, seeing the cases. I learn from every case that I develop, basically, and that's really important. So.
And you know what? I love that you call them cases. You know why? Because you find out all the research. You do all the research about that person, right? Find out whether it's Medicare, what's right for them. I mean, you went through every single medication that we were on and found out what tier, what they would be right, would be wrong. It doesn't matter whether someone stays or not. It's the information that you give them back. You'll be amazed at what you get back from him about whether it's Medicare or long-term care, life insurance, life insurance with living benefits.
Right, but it's information that's taken to the point where you don't have to have been in the field to understand it. You don't use jargon. You use real English, plain English, okay?
It's Howard Talk.
Thank
Oh, I
you.
like that. Maybe that should be the name of your show.
Oh, it could be.
So, oh my God, did I just start something?
Again.
I do think that, did you have a nice Thanksgiving, by the way?
Absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic.
So now you're ready to go with the ending
We're
of...
going to finish out we're going to finish it out. These are literally nights of 2 hours sleep, okay? You learn how to live on it, okay? In my way of looking at it, it's like fraternity hell week, okay? This is hell week, okay?
Right down to the
I'm not sure you can
end.
say it, am I gonna be bleeped?
No, I think it's okay.
Okay, but the moral of the story is you put in the time, you make the friends, you do good by people, they do good by you. A great portion of my business does come off radio shows such as this, but also comes off of referrals.
Right, there's nothing like that, and when you, when you work with him, you'll know why. Keep on going.
Well, I get to solo here for a minute too. I'm not so sure I can respond. I respond very well off of questions. Just let's review what we talked about today, and that is we're a broad-based agency covering most of the life products. We will find something for you. We may have to work a little harder in some cases than others, but we will work to find the plan that suits your needs, meets your needs. That's the important thing, basically. There's one thing I was going to bring up about some of our savings programs. The annuities are savings programs. Yes, you might be able to make more money with a 529 plan, which is a college funding program, but an annuity with constant performance at 5 and 6% growth per year might just outdo that 12% growth situation you're getting from a 529 plan. Your 529 plan growth is subject to attack by a declining market, whereas in an annuity that the accumulation and the principal are safe from declines, basically. So there was a famous magazine that made in Time or Newsweek, and had a picture of a young person, a college-age person, looking up and saying, "Hey, dude, where's my college money?" Well, the idea was that was at a time when the market was on a downturn, basically, and some people just weren't getting their college money because the 529 plan had declined, basically. So slow and steady often wins the race, and especially if you're talking about newborn children, you want to start saving for them. Let's talk about how that might be done with through the use of an annuity. So we've got a lot of tools. Like you said, they're all tools, and we put them to work.
And you did a great job. Thank you for that. And here's the thing, folks. The main thing that you want to do is make sure that you're educated properly, right? About this, they're all educational. Each individual one is right for each different person, right?
I do have the formal education, but it just bored the living daylights out of me. So when I visit with people, I try not to bore the living daylights out of them, and just talk in real life terms.
Well, what would be the most important when you sit down and talk to somebody? It doesn't matter. Everybody's got their own story, so you just got to get to know them.
I think we have to, the most important thing for somebody in my business is to avoid the stereotyping of people who are in my role, basically. There's a lot of skepticism on the buyer's part. We understand one thing, and that is that buyers want to buy things. They don't want to be sold things, okay? And there's a difference. And if you play with that long enough, you'll see the difference. So it's a matter of how do I come across to people? How do I befriend people very quickly? Those kind of things, basically. And I just don't use all the standard sales tricks, okay? When I was in sales, I wasn't the greatest sales guy out there. And that's because there are manipulative type of sales strategies that you can use. And I just don't think that's right. I wouldn't want it done to me. I recognize it when it's being done to me, and the hackles go up. I try to make sure that the hackles of my clients or my prospects, that their hackles go down.
Well, I'll tell you something. When you get to know Howard, you're going to love him, because one of the things about him, he's the most honest till the day is long. As the day is long, he is. And he's all about service, making sure that you're serviced, but making sure that you are educated as well. That's what this is all about, folks. And each person does have a different story. So just call Howard. His phone number to call direct is 602-909-8433. It is a free service to you. It just makes sense to give him a call. 602-909-8433.
Peace out.
Thanks for saving me.